other direction.
Today's shirt
live now.
is One Piece.
Today, my shirt is chest hair. But you're not going to see that. You're just going to see two funky portable gaming systems from the mid-2000s.
I've seen it. He's like a grizzly.
Yes. Apparently, that was the first time you'd ever seen me without my shirt. It was a fun night.
It was picking you up that morning. It was not that kind of a night.
It was a fun morning. Fun morning.
Anyway,
okay.
We just got ready because we got a ton to talk about.
Oh yeah.
I'm just
Oh.
So, quick question: can you hear my air conditioner?
Oh, I can hear something. It's probably okay. I guess it's Jason's thing.
It's probably my fan. There's nothing much I can do about that. I mean, hey, it's the heat of summer.
There, I just turned it off, so if it's anything, it's not on my end.
Yeah, it's Jason. It's all Jason. You're the reason why we're a slightly inferior podcast, Jason.
Okay, and posted. Okay, I'm ready when you guys are.
Whee!
Yay! I shut this match. I'm about to beat Helix.
Oh gosh darn it.
Or he's about to beat me. It's kind of going either way right now.
I don't know if Corey's listening, but if he is, he should be very infuriated with you right now.
I'm just going to pause and save and quit. And then I'll put it in sleepy mode.
Yay. Oh boy.
Okay, we have one viewer, and it's me.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, whoops.
It's going to be a long one, so.
Okay, I didn't know that was
Wrap your sails in.
Jason, don't do accents.
We now have two viewers.
I wasn't doing any accent. My dad's from Kentucky. That's a normal accent. Although my dad didn't have an accent, so I can't really say that. All right.
Are we going to start a show?
Yep, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I am always ready, Jason, because I am never ready. So I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be.
Okay, and one. That was probably 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 45 of Sonic Talk, and we have got a ton to talk about tonight. It's going to be crazy. Me and Alex just came back from E3, so we'll be discussing a lot there. But first off, let me introduce our third chair. It's GX Echidna. Say hi to everyone.
Hi, just a heads up. If I'm being emulated at a poor frame rate today, it's just because I'm being emulated by Unity.
That was a terrible joke, and I want to disassociate myself with both of you now.
And I'm going to pay $1.99 just to not hear the joke.
Jason,
okay,
you're not one to talk about bad jokes. You are not.
Right.
Yeah, but he is one to talk about bad emulation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Seriously, again, it wasn't funny the first time.
And there's Alex Peel over there.
Yeah, hi. Hello.
Okay, before me and him get into doing our chatty chat, let's hear what GX has been up to. GX?
GX hasn't been up to much. I guess I could discuss how I am very slowly playing through Super Mario RPG for the Nintendo World Report Patreon Game Club livecast thing that plugs I'll be on that. I also played a bit of Jackbox, Jackbox 3 for Wii, or Switch, I mean. I could talk about that. I know, Alex, you actually played that with me, and I've been playing some ARMS. So you actually had some issues with that because it is very much a come up with something funny on the fly type game.
Yes, my brain was not prepped for that at all. It's like, okay, like we're doing like memory games or something. Oh no, like come up with dumb shit to say that you hope the other people find funny. I wasn't ready for that kind of pressure, man.
The Jackbox kind of mantra is, hey, here's a bunch of games that are kind of sort of like Cards Against Humanity, and some of them will be like trivia, some of them will be weird design games, that kind of stuff. I actually had a lot of trouble with the first time that I tried it until I discovered there's actually better settings to stream it. It's a great game because really all you need is your phone with the browser on it and people watching it, or people in the room with you, or just streaming it out to Twitch and having people play along with you. It's just, it's silly fun of, hey, one of the games that I played is you just get issued a fill-in-the-blank statement that's usually a very unusual question. Who will be the next president? What's a good name for a dog that lives in a handbag? That kind of stuff. And then everyone has to come up with 2 answers to 2 different questions. Then effectively everyone else just kind of has to decide which one's funnier, which one's better. And it kind of calculates score from that, and who cares, because that's kind of not the point. The point is, let's make everyone laugh at the stupid answers that people came up with.
We had some pretty serious issues with streaming, too.
Yeah. I eventually found settings for the second time that I played to give more time to people watching on a stream. So if we ever play that again, that won't be as much of an issue.
Good. I hope not.
The other game that I played with it is a game called TKO, and I really like that one in Jackbox 3, just because the premise of it is people just have to make really bad drawings or really crude drawings on your phone. You're not given much in the way of tools or colors or whatever. And then everyone types in a whole bunch of different slogans or titles or something. And then the goal is it randomly throws you, here's some t-shirt designs, here's some slogans, match something up that's going to be stupid.
I have less of an issue with that one.
And the second game that I played of that with some friends and some people in a Discord that I'm in, it was entertaining because eventually it just kind of devolves into pictures of dicks or things related to dicks.
Oh my god!
And that's always great to put with slogans. So I guess the other question is, dare we talk about ARMS?
I actually haven't. I actually haven't had much time to play that, but I did play it on the airplane, so I guess that could be interesting.
You may have arguably played it more of it than I have.
Well,
I've played it quite a bit for this past week. I mean, because I could take it to work with me thanks to being on the Switch.
Yes, that's what looks so lovely about it. You can take it to Walmart and do like useful things instead of work.
Right.
But yeah, in short, ARMS is Nintendo's new fighting game type thing from the Mario Kart team, and based on single player options, you can tell it's coming from the Mario Kart team.
Because there is not a lot of single player options here.
It's just like one arcade.
Why is it called Grand? You can tell it's from the Mario Kart team because for some reason it's called Grand Prix mode instead of tournament. Because you're doing a fighting tournament. Why is it called Grand Prix?
You're not doing a fighting tournament. I mean, they can't even really call it an arcade mode because it's not really an arcade game. But it is what it is. You do a series of fights that one after the other, and basically the crux of the way that the game is played, which I'm guessing most of the listeners have probably seen so far, is you can either motion control or you can use the actual controller, but effectively one set of things controls your right arm, the other set of things controls your left arm. You cannot win by punching like Wii Boxing, because there's a lag time, because the titular arms in this are springs.
Very strategy to it.
And springs take time to get to their opponent. So a lot of the game is mostly waiting for an opening, making an opening, leading your opponent to make mistakes or make a poor grab, trying to block as you can, and just doing a lot of jumping and dodging while you're attempting to punch your opponent.
Yeah, I mean, it is a game that's it's got a lot of those elements where it's easy to pick up, hard to put down, easy to learn, but difficult to master. Its controls are very simple. You only got like 4 buttons, well, 5 buttons total to learn, and it's so simple that way. But at the same time, it's very complex because you're deciding the strengths of your characters, the strengths of the arms weapons you use, and all of that comes into play. Like a lot of times I use the ninja because he can dodge extremely fast, and he starts off with the frisbee and the punches that he's very quick with, so he's a quick one, but he's also more vulnerable as far as attacks go. He's weaker in that regards. Or you got like Master Mummy, who's really big and tough, but he's also very slow with his punches. His block will actually start healing him for a while, but it also leaves him very vulnerable to grabs because he can't dodge as fast as other characters can dodge. So all that comes into play.
I don't know. I basically just played a bit of Springman, then a bunch of Ribbon Girl in the Grand Prix mode. And
Springman is very vanilla. Ribbon Girl actually has a great dodge where if you can jump up in the air, you can jump up in the air, dodge, and I think jump again. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah,
like 4 midair jumps. Like she's considered one of the stronger beginner characters just because she's really good at dodging.
That's basically why I picked her, because like with Springman, I didn't have a lot of room to maneuver on the plane, and so definitely it was easier for me to just play with a character that was could just jump through the air, and I found I was able to get a lot further with her. But it really is like a very interesting game to just play when you're out in the world, especially with motion controls, which is what I was doing. Because it's not like any other portable experience you've ever really had before.
Yeah, motion controls are a plus. They're not needed completely, but they're not weak either. I mean, if you can master them, you can do just as good a job or maybe better with them than you could with basic controls. But the basic controls are solid too. It's just solid controls all around.
And there's been a lot of I hear a lot of, whenever I hear people talk about that game, there's a lot more divergence in preference between motion controls and just plain gamepad controls than there would have been with Splatoon. Splatoon, it's kind of converged into, you probably should be using motion controls.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many people I hear go, no, I just want to use double joystick. I don't want to do the other one. I'm like, no, if you learn how to do gyro sensors in Splatoon 2, you can really kick some ass in that game.
But the thing I like about ARMS motion controls, for my limited amount of time with it, is that it doesn't really require a lot of force.
You can just do a tiny shake.
You can do tiny punches, and it'll have just as much effect as a forceful punch, which is good because I was doing my best not to shake my seat on the plane because there's someone behind me. They have their table down. I don't want to jostle them, and so I was able to do that without causing anyone any real issues. I didn't punch anything. I was able to do the whole motion control thing with a very limited amount of space.
Yeah, someone really needs to tell Capcom that the Wii is dead and buried.
Are we talking about the
Way of Hotto?
What? Right, I haven't played that, so I guess that requires a lot of oomph.
I've
What?
watched some videos and heard some impressions, and yeah, it's. Do you
What game is
remember
this again?
Street Fighter
Street-
2.
Street Fighter 2 for Switch. I don't know.
Oh.
There's probably some supers or ultras or final or who cares because it's Capcom.
Well, you were saying the Wii, so you confused me.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Do you remember the Wii Dragon Ball game, in
Mhm.
which one of the main selling points was you could actually make the Kamehameha motion in order to do it in the game?
Yeah,
that sounds vaguely familiar.
Now imagine if Capcom did that in 2017.
Yeah, but isn't that a 3D mode? They don't do that in the actual 2D.
I mean, yeah, like
game, right?
it's
No,
optional,
it's-
but
Think of it like a rail shooter. Only instead of shooting guns, you're moving your Joy-Cons back and just making Hadouken motions or moving it sideways to do spiral kick if it recognizes it at all, which it probably won't. I don't know why they thought this was a great idea.
I'm disappointed
That's
because
the end of that
was,
sentence.
like, if the Way of the Hado had been any good, I would have picked up that game. But since it isn't, I don't really have a lot of interest in owning Street Fighter 2 again, even though it's prettier than the other versions that I have.
I'll buy it maybe whenever it's $20.
Yeah,
But-
at $20 I'll be tempted, but at 40, no. Like, the
Yeah,
Way of the Hado
40 is way too much. This is a game you can get online for 360 or PS3 for like less than $10. And the only thing missing is the Hado mode. So why the hell would I pay 40 for it?
Well, they were probably hoping that the Hado mode would be good.
Or it was Switch at launch, and I don't know, they're hoping, hey, let's appeal to retro people. Third joke concerning Sega Forever.
Hey, have we even done? Oh, right, the emulation jokes. Okay, that was slightly better, Chris. Congratulations. Now let's see. Damn it! I had more I want to say about ARMS, but it's completely left my mind now. Oh well.
What's
guess we
your
should-
favorite character to play? I use the ninja the most of the time. I do like using Twin Tail because she can also float, and
My favorite
her
character
hairs are pretty quick.
My favorite
Plus she's
character.
got that ass.
My favorite character from the demo was a Min Min. I preferred her a default boxing mix to the others. Like you could put more of a curve on her stuff.
Her
And,
stage is a pain in the butt because it's like a bowl, and when you get that one, the mine that comes in, and if you hit the mine, try to hit it towards the other opponent, all it does is roll back into the middle.
And my second favorite's probably the Mummy guy. I forget his name.
A mummy could be if you know how to do. Yeah, Master
Yeah.
Mummy. If you know how to use him, he's tough because his punches can do a serious amount of damage if they land.
Yeah, like I really like his big wrecking ball punches, and also like the Falcon, which can like do a really nice quick curve onto somebody.
I swear I do. I like all these characters. That's what I like about the game is they're all got cool personality.
For him, for both of them, I kind of have a strategy of using one heavy one to try to kind of corral somebody, and then hitting them on the side with a weaker attack. That generally tends to be pretty effective with at least some of the lower tier people.
Bite and Bark is a pretty good combination too.
They were the first characters I tried, and I got creamed by the computer.
Well, Bark always distracts the one fighter, and then I can usually hit a few punches in. Have you managed to beat level 4 on GP?
Nope, that's where I got stuck, and that's where
I beat level 4 with Bite and Bark, but I have not beaten it with anybody else, especially freaking basketball mode. They always get the grab on me.
I played it one time
think basketball
since
mode.
I purchased it, and I played as Springman, and I made it through level 3, and it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
Poor Chris.
Yeah, the problem is that's my one gripe about the game is when you get to level 4 and up, it seems like the AI can actually predict your moves. It reacts. It tries to defend itself and dodge, and it reacts as soon as you press your buttons. I mean, instantly. It's really hard to defeat the AI.
I found that too. Like even at level 3, it just seemed like
That's where I started. My God.
I wasn't really able to. I guess I would say keep up with the computer. Like it seemed like the computer was able to move faster than I was able to react, which seemed weird to me. Like they had a much better reaction speed than what you might expect for a computer, even at that kind of a medium level.
Yeah, this is a game that's AI needs some balancing issues, I think, and it also needs a little more single-player modes to it.
Yeah,
but other than that,
single player. It's funny. Like for this, like I tried to do the regular buttons for this, and wow, I could just not get into it because it felt so unnatural compared to the motion controls.
It needs the capacity to remap a gamepad because the default mapping for it is real bad.
I don't have any problem with it because you don't have to use the A and B buttons for punches. You can use the ZR buttons in the back.
I got no gripe with that. I've got the gripe with everything else. I've got a gripe with just the jump, the dodge, the.
This doesn't feel natural.
It doesn't. It felt like they didn't necessarily pick a intuitive button layout for me. There are definitely places where I would have rather have remapped them, and kind of as a fighting game, it's at least a little bit more standard now that they do give you control options, which I think is a bit unfortunate that they don't let you remap in this game.
Whoa, what the heck was that, Jason?
Who cares? Keep moving. It's a podcast. Quit commenting on that crap.
Okay, you've spent longer on that than I have.
I was ready to get on to our main topic, which is, of course, is E3 and my week with Alex. Basically, he was here from Saturday night to Friday morning, and, and we really tested out. We tested out two things: your ankle that was broken, and my car, which before I got picked you up was having like bubbling problems. But then I found out that as long as I went on a long drive, it was okay. Whatever was up with the engine would kick in and it wouldn't overheat. But if I go like on a 2 or 3 mile drive and back, it would suddenly overheat.
Your car is on its last legs, but
yeah.
So clearly, you two were meeting in Florida for some special reason, right?
You mean LA?
Florida? Los Angeles.
Whatever, California. One of those.
Not whatever. Los Angeles,
Pennsylvania. What do you want?
Los Angeles is objectively worse than anything in Florida. But anyway, so we went to Sonic Revolution on Sunday. That was an interesting experience compared to last year, because we were trying to. I don't know if we announced this on the podcast, but we were trying to like do a live Sonic Talk show there. But they didn't have microphones.
We had wired microphones.
I had wired microphones. They didn't.
They did. They had one. But it was the sound stage was the sound equipment was way over on one side, and the stage was over on the other. So of course, wired mics weren't going to work. So we actually had to go to the store to look for wireless mics, and there's no return policy on them, and then they kept cutting off, so that just didn't work. We didn't even get to do our show then.
We went on a wild adventure to get some wireless microphones for them because the Radio Shack was unfortunately closed. And as Jason said, we went to a pawn shop, we bought some, and like even then we had loads of issues. Like we spent $40 on a microphone that wasn't even compatible with the $30 microphone and wireless thing that we got. And so, like, we had to return that, and with the money for that, I ended up like getting like this old Yobo GN Twin thing that plays Genesis and Nintendo games. I got a this edutainment portable device called a Dig, and but unfortunately, even when we came back, and like we traded in the old microphone. We got a cable an audio cable for the wireless setup that we had neglected to get the first time. Even after all of that, it still had issues. And after like one show, they they couldn't use it. And of course, we spent basically the entire time allotted for our show trying to fix this problem. It was disappointing.
I'll be there next time.
Oh well.
Hopefully.
Will you have a wireless microphone with you and all sorts
Hopefully,
of?
I will have. I can certainly bring tech. I'm
Bring tech if you
sure
can.
I may know tech better than you guys, at least in terms of audio equipment.
Yeah.
The audio equipment the last 2 years was fine, but the audio equipment was right next to the stage. This year they had the stage. I don't know why they planned it this way. They had the stage way across on the other side, and that didn't work out too well. Other than that, we filled the room to capacity, but it was a bar. It was a pretty small room.
And on top of that, my Sega Saturn broke on the way here, and so like I was gonna like set up a Sega Saturn with Sonic R on a
I had my PC running with like Sonic Generations and Sonic Adventure and some other games, and that was going fine, but his Saturn just wouldn't work. We had all the Sonic Boom Riders there, and including Bill Freiberger and Sam Freiberger and Alan and Greg and everybody had a good time there. We had Evan Stanley and Tyson Hess was there as well. Matt Mannheimer, who we ran into again at E3. He's always cool to hang out with.
We also had Sven Jocelyn from Sonic Stadium and Aaron Weber.
Yep, Aaron Weber. This is our third one, and Aaron Weber's gone all three.
And also
He's
Brad
visited
Flick,
at least all three.
Brad Flick and Stealth from Sonic Stadium, who are, by the way, working on the Sonic Mania game. Brad Flick is a level designer on it. so that was cool.
Yeah, everybody from Sonic Retro is pretty much working on the Sonic Mania.
So like basically, I went there for two things to set up a Sega Saturn, let people play Sonic R on it, and also to do Sonic Talk. And both of those things got canceled. And so basically, like my entire thing was, aside from the wireless mic, I also had a Sega Nomad with a Mega EverDrive sitting on a table, and that was basically my whole thing. When it came to like responsibilities and stuff, make sure no one steals the Sega Nomad. Aside from that, though, it was a lot of fun.
Although he left it alone quite a few times, and people would just pick it up and play with it. But it was a good group of fans. They weren't trying to steal anything or anything.
Yeah,
like give us some highlights. Obviously, some of the things that you had planned didn't work out, but what did you participate in? What did you watch? What did you enjoy?
I didn't really participate in anything until the end, where they started doing the disc. At the end of both Sonic Revolutions that I've been to, there's like this dancing disco thing. And,
they had the dancing at the end, all the different Sonic music.
Yeah,
and this one was cute because there's there
was this one little kid.
The little kid is just going nuts in the middle of the dance floor, so that kind of got everybody else to wanting to dance around. We kind of danced in a circle around him.
That kid was awesome. He was. If I decided to take video of him, which would have probably been inappropriate, but if I had taken video of him, that kid would be a freaking meme right now. I swear to God. But yeah, you don't want to subject kids to internet stardom. So
yeah, and I got to talk to Bill Freiberger quite a bit. He's cool. He just hang out with people. He's a cool guy. And we did Q&A with him about Sonic Boom and everything. And I guess Evan Stanley's episode will be coming up soon.
For me, though, the highlight of the whole thing was having Sven, Brad Flick, Stealth, and Aaron Weber all basically in the same space, and we're all talking. That was just awesome. And then, and they were also passing this Nokia N-Gage that I brought around.
Wasn't quite as good as last year's because we didn't have the voice actors, of course, so we did last year. But it was still really good.
I'd argue that aside from the audio issues, it was just as good as last year.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's just it could have been better if we didn't have a bunch of these technical issues.
Right.
Like it could have been better than last year if that stuff had worked out properly.
That's true, but it was still everybody had fun. So that's the most important thing.
I do hope that I plan on coming back next year, and I will be a little more prepared for doing a live Sonic talk.
Yeah, they had somebody there all the way from Texas, but actually you outdo them because you're all the way from Florida.
Yes, I am better than all of them because I came from a further distance, Jason. But I just hope that you can make it next time, Chris. That'll be fun. Hopefully,
I'm definitely hoping to. I know I was probably the person most enthused about the idea of having a live stage recording of the podcast.
Now I have a question. If you had gone this time, would you have brought the audio equipment that they would have needed?
That's a good question. I could have things. If I knew what their setup was, I may have at least some things to prepare for it.
Well, next time, definitely bring anything that you can, just in case, so that we can avoid these issues in the future.
If you get me in contact with whoever handles the AV stuff there.
Oh no, Jason, that'll be Jason's thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then
the one thing that bothered me is crazy is that I had my PC with like Generations, Lost World, Adventure 1 and 2, and the Genesis collection, and all they seem to want to play is Sonic Adventure 1.
Yeah, that was most of what they played.
In fact, one woman hogged it up for 2 hours just playing Sonic Adventure 1. I finally had to go, "Oh, I'm sorry, there's some other people in line if you don't mind." And she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." She finally left.
For me, another highlight was that there... Sorry, Chris, go on.
I was going to say, one of the things I would almost suggest is get some of the PC games and then get some of the mods.
Well, I had the mods last year, and this year, because my PC crashed and rebooted, I lost all the Generations mods.
Aw.
Yeah. But I looked for Lost World. I was thinking originally getting Sonic Forces on PC, but I noticed the Lost World didn't really have much for mods except for different characters. Generations got a ton of mods, but not so much for Lost World. So, we'll get into Sonic Forces discussion later because now we got to get to Monday, in which Alex went to Disneyland for the very first time ever. He's never been to a
Disneyland. Yeah, I've lived in Florida for a decade at this point, and
I've never been to Disney World at any time.
I've never gone to Disney World because it was 3 hours away from where I live. It's a huge pain in the ass to get to, but yeah, I finally went to Disneyland. I went on a bunch of low octane rides like Jungle Safari and Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean, which is a little more high octane, but only for the one big drop.
The big drop at the beginning scared him.
Oh God damn it! After that drop, I was shaking. I was numb. I don't like this stuff, Jason. This is why I don't do roller coasters. But my gosh, after that, the animatronics at Disneyland, I realize this is stating the obvious for anyone who's been there, but the animatronics are amazing, especially
even as considering how old they are. They were made in the '60s, and they still are pretty impressive.
And it's you're going through Pirates of the Caribbean. It's you're going through a swamp, and then all of a sudden you're going through all these pirate battles and stuff, and occasionally Jack Sparrow, which is something they added later, but Jack Sparrow just pops out of a barrel or something. It's these random cameos for this major character from the franchise. It's just such a well done animatronic ride. And Haunted Mansion, wow, that was also super impressive.
That's one of the nice things about the Disney park specifically is that they pay a very close attention to detail in such a way that there's just hidden stuff everywhere.
Yeah, and the Abraham Lincoln thing with Robot Lincoln was cool. I mean, it was kind of propagandy, but if you're going to propagandize anyone, you might as well propagandize.
Oh God, it was from the '60s, so.
Lincoln was pretty cool.
Everything worked out good because what surprised me is how busy it was. I mean, we had to park.
Oh yeah,
we were late going in, and we were get there at 2, but we had to park at the upper level of the parking garage.
Yeah, the mini park.
So I knew it was going to be super busy. So, but if you have the Disneyland app, it tells you the wait times for each ride.
Yeah.
So you can kind of plan out your what you want to go to in advance. So we first went over to Tomorrowland because Star Tours was like a 75-minute wait.
Yeah.
So we got our
Oh man, Star Tours.
passes for that. And,
Star Tours was impressive.
Yeah, Star Tours is
Star Tours is like it's like this theater experience, but like it's a theater that moves around to simulate a spaceship, and you're basically like sitting in like a mock airplane type thing with C-3PO as the pilot, and there's this whole little story about like C-3PO's like accidentally gets stuck in this
this tour ship, and one of you. It takes a random photo of somebody in the audience, and one of you is the rebel spy.
Yeah.
Usually, it's a little kid. They like doing that.
It wasn't a little kid this time. It was a grown ass adult.
Yeah.
So, Jason, you've been there multiple times, right?
Yes.
Is this version of Star Tours different than in previous? Because I don't remember that part.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's completely. They changed it around. Originally, it was a robot that was voiced by Pee Wee Herman. And you went through one particular segment that lasted about 5 to 8 minutes, and then it ended. Now they have C-3PO has accidentally replaced the pilot because the pilot went out and he went to go, and C-3PO was just doing maintenance. And now you have up to 10 different video scenarios that happen. So the ride is different every time you go on. There's even a Force Awakens one.
And by the way. It basically serves as C-3PO's origin story.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does. He's like C-3PO like says, "Oh my God, everyone! I believe we've just joined the Rebel Alliance."
You're already part of the Rebel Alliance.
He has just become a part of the Rebel Alliance in this ride, Jason. It is his origin story.
It is not even close.
That's how they portrayed it in the ride.
No, they did not. Anyway,
exactly how they portrayed it.
No, it's not canon in any way. It goes through all 3 eras at the exact same time.
Okay, like I'm not saying it's like official canon. I'm just saying as how he joined the Rebel Alliance.
Might I just say?
Not really.
I love the direction this conversation went.
In any case, the whole thing is also in 3D. And my gosh, are those special effects really impressive?
My favorite part is the one with the Episode 1 Star Cruiser when it shatters through the windshield and pokes right in your face practically.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. It's like we all almost got impaled by a freaking Naboo starfighter.
The other Star Wars attraction is the Jedi Training Academy, which we got to watch a little bit of while we were waiting for our lunch.
That's basically just okay. Here is what happened. Oh wait, with the little kids. Yeah, that was cool. Like these little kids basically defeated Darth Vader, the lady from Star Wars Rebels, and Kylo Ren. Well, no, okay, an actress defeated Kylo Ren, but yeah, these little kids basically got to fight Darth Vader. It's funny.
It's kind of sad that by the end they have to murder all the younglings, though.
No. Like I think this takes place like in some future part of the storyline after Darth Vader's already dead, or something. I don't know. I missed the beginning.
Anyway, it all worked out well. I mean, we saw about 10 different attractions within like 8 hours, which for Disneyland is really good because lines can get really long. But they did a good job with the lines in this one. We were only waiting like about a half hour for any particular ride. My favorite ride was definitely Star Tours Continues with Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean About Tide. Definitely, like at the bottom was Snow White's. I forget what they called it, but we went on that because it had broken down temporarily, so there was no line.
Yeah,
so by the time we got there, we were able to just walk on.
This whole thing was a combination of good luck and planning.
Did you get to see Mr. Toad's Wild Ride?
Yes, we did.
That was my suggestion. I told him we got to go on Mr. Toad.
That's what we were trying to do when we went on Snow White.
About going to hell.
And after Mr. Toad, I finally went ahead and I rented the movie the next night, Mr. Toad and Ichabod Crane, because I had seen Ichabod Crane, but I somehow never seen Mr. Toad. And so I went ahead and there's no hell in the actual Mr. Toad movie. I was a little disappointed.
Yeah, I didn't. But you go through hell in the ride. In fact, it's actually hot in that particular section.
I mean,
you get in a car accident and you end up hell just
I
before
figured
the
that
end of the
Mr.
ride.
Toad dies at one point, like Ichabod died, but no, he doesn't die. So it's like this whole thing is completely misleading.
You know what else I hear is hotter than hell?
California?
Some of those E3 games.
Yep.
Oh,
yep,
yeah.
Yep. Mario.
If you can play with them, because considering now that they opened it to the public, there's little slime green badges everywhere.
Yes. I know. It's grump. It's horrible. Anyway, I don't know. I played fewer games, but I played the games I cared about, so I don't care.
Well, I never got to play Assassin's Creed Origins. I was kind of disappointed.
Oranges.
But oh my god, the South Hall was just insane. I mean, everything was line capped here, line capped there. There's a line cap for friggin' Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
The sense that I got listening to different people is that basically they let in the public, but they didn't adapt the format of the show.
They did not.
They did not adapt that at all.
Yeah, the only thing I saw we played at the South Hall was Dragon Ball FighterZ, which only had about a half hour wait.
You got to play that.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my gosh, that was impressive. Like,
it might be my favorite Dragon Ball game so
far. Because like it's not just a 2D fighter; it is super cinematic. Like when you
very cinematic
somebody,
and very intense. I mean, there's just blasts and damage everywhere. It's like the most intense Dragon Ball fights you could have.
And when you defeat somebody, like you actually punch them into a building, and it actually looks like an animated thing from the show. And these are 3D graphics, but they don't look 3D. They do
kind of
gorgeous.
They're cell shaded,
game.
But they limit the animation to make it look like the actual 2D cell animation.
Yeah, trust me, I was drooling whenever I heard that they were using the Arc System Works fighting engine.
Yeah,
like,
I played that kind of like a Marvel vs. Capcom game, and it was pretty close. I beat Alex, but just barely. We were having a blast with that game.
Like, honestly, I'm more interested in this than Injustice 2 at this point, although Injustice 2 is almost assuredly going to have the better story mode, so...
But I like it. Oh, I've been playing Injustice 2. I've been playing the hell out of that just for all the gear and stuff and the leveling up of your characters. But anyway, I will say Nintendo probably had the best as far as lines go. Line structure.
They were the best managed booth by far.
Oh yeah.
Like my God, we got to play Mario Odyssey twice. Meanwhile, I struggled to play Mario Rabbids.
Yeah, I mean,
Ubisoft.
I was about less than a 1 hour wait in line to play Mario Odyssey for about 10 minutes, but which is fair because you get a free cap, for playing as well. Cap and a pin.
I'm giving my extra one to Chris for his birthday. But now I have a question for both of you. What did you think of Nintendo's press conference? Because I was really happy with that.
It's all right. It's just a half hour of trailers after trailer.
Yeah, but like you saw it only after you like got spoiled on all the announcements. But just thinking about the things we have coming to the Switch. We've got a Pokemon game. We've got a Metroid Prime game. We've got Yoshi and Kirby, Fire Emblem. Like I mean, like a mainline Pokemon game. I don't care about the Pokken tournament thing.
Right.
I mean,
we got some great stuff coming. And Xenoblade 2 is coming this year, which everyone was saying that wasn't going to happen, and it's happening.
So, my attitude towards it is basically everything they showed in that conference is something that I'm interested in. But aside from Mario, I don't think the presentation was just all there. Like,
I mean, yeah,
Xenoblade. The problem is they really focused on, my God, this is anime, like a lot. Like it was 80% cutscene, and it wasn't good cutscene either. I love both Xenoblade games, and I'm going to buy and play this. But it wasn't a good trailer. I could say the same exact thing with Fire Emblem Warriors. Like, it was almost all cutscene. And unfortunately, that game's all about you're going to be one little guy fighting a bajillion forces. Like,
True.
what is obviously it's a Warriors game, but what is the game? Show me the game. Who do I get to be? Okay, this guy, I don't know, these two kids lost their mom, so let's all be friends with past Fire Emblem characters? Like, I don't understand what they were thinking whenever they were putting that together, other than maybe this is for the Japanese audience. I don't know. It was a weird cut. But I mean, that said, they had some weird issues with maybe some of these things are just responses to fan feedback. Like,
Metroid definitely felt a bit like that.
Metroid was forced. Like, that was nothing.
I was so happy when that logo came up, though. My God. I don't care if it was nothing. I'm just happy to know that it's coming.
That was nice. But
the Metroid Prime 4 subtitle is there. You happy?
Yeah, basically, and the same thing with Pokemon. Like,
yes,
they wouldn't have said anything if the internet didn't explode in response to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Like, this doesn't get announced in this way if the internet wasn't like, why aren't you making my Pokemon game for Switch, even though that's not how the Pokemon company has ever operated at any point of their existence.
This is something Nintendo has done before. Like, they've announced both Pikmin 3 and the Smash Brothers just like offhanded with no trailer or anything.
But not like that. Not like that. This is in a pressure.
They usually did like in a treehouse thing or something. But
they usually do
even worse than this. At least
they usually do it by announcing it and then telling Sakurai that he's working on it.
Well, that is how it happened with Brawl.
Yeah,
but,
they had a great booth. There's nothing where you had to wait too long in line for Nintendo, except for Mario and Rabbids.
The only thing I really have to bring up, though, is how about that Mario trailer? Like, obviously, you guys played it, but how about that Mario trailer?
Oh, yeah, that got me so pumped for that game. You can possess a T-Rex and some poor hapless human guy who can drive a car.
You can possess freaking everything. It's like a...
Yeah, well, not everything, but a lot.
Here's the game where
it's so weird that there's a Mario universe where there's a cartoon Mario and a normal-looking human in the same city.
I don't know, like...
It's still very... Even when I played that, it's still very Sonic Adventure as far as the way it looks.
Well, you know what this means then. This game is canonical with NBA Street for the GameCube.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Well, I was meeting with Jasmine just as I was half expecting them to go, hey, and then wave their arms up and down like in Sonic 06.
I'm happy to see Paul.
What's kind of cool is that the people in attendance, the people who worked for Nintendo at the booth, were actually dressed up in that 1930s jazz regalia with the hat and the tux and everything. Yeah. And they're looking all classy. It was really cool. I wanted Alex, actually, before we go eventually to Sonic, the other
we should discuss
Sonic
games that we played.
We'll save Sonic for last. But what did you think of Mario plus Rabbids? Because I didn't get to play it. Yeah. I watched others play it, and I was surprised at how good it looks.
Yes,
it with Rabbids in it.
It is a gorgeous game. It is a very fun, polished game. Like I wouldn't really compare. I wouldn't really compare it to say. To say something like Valkyria Chronicles, which what initially I thought would be something like that, but really it's more along the lines of, I think, XCOM or something, which I haven't played, but I've seen videos.
Other press people have been saying it's XCOM for kids, basically.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. There's some neat little strategies you can do, like by teaming up characters and stuff, because characters can like throw each other behind cover so that you can like blast the bad guy, although you have to be very careful with that, because if you're too reckless, the bad guys will fight back pretty hard. Like I almost got killed in that demo because I was being so reckless. But you can destroy cover. You can you can flip around cover. You can take cover. Like you got to stick close to cover if you don't want to die in this game. So like whenever you like kind of circumvent that to damage an enemy quickly, you're taking something of a risk. But there can be a lot of reward because you do a heck of a lot more damage to it. So it's just it's a pretty fun game from what I was able to play. Now I wasn't able to complete the demo because
it was running low on time, and they wanted to make sure that everybody got the chance to play it.
Because like I stopped at the 10-minute mark. You know, I didn't actually have to, but everyone was being a good sport, and I wanted to be a good sport, so I was a good sport. And I let the next person play after I got like 2 battles done. It's a fun game from what I've played, so definitely I think people should be looking forward to it.
I'm kind of curious. Do you guys have any sort of predisposition for or against the Rabbids?
I have no feeling one way or the other towards them.
I've only played one Rabbids game. It was the Wii one.
I kind of liked them okay in the Wii era. Now they're just like
I meant to say
minions.
I meant to say it was the Wii launch game one. I thought it was fun. I thought they were cute. I don't hate them. I don't love them. Like they're okay, and they don't seem out of play. They don't seem out of place next to Mario, as far as I'm concerned. Like okay, like they're a lot goofier than Mario and like his entourage.
No, normal humans look more out of place next to Mario.
Yeah, normal humans look more out of place than Rabbids.
I just heard a lot of talk of like, well, this game looks really, really good, but I really don't like the Rabbids, and I don't know. I'm also of the unpopular opinion that I don't hate the minions either, because I think movies that they are in are entertaining, even though they are culturally shoved down our throats without the context of the movies.
Yeah, on Facebook, my sister used to do that crap and at least annoy the hell out of me.
Let me put it this way. I would much rather see a T-shirt of Gru than I would of the Minions.
Yeah,
that said, I'm just kind of surprised that people even kind of half remember the Rabbids even as this thing, because I know there have been some games, but the last game that I played was Rabbids Go Home, which was actually really, really good because it was made by Michel Ancel, and it kind of played like a weird commercialist-themed Katamari game.
I've never actually played that. Should I?
I like it. If you like Katamari type games, it has a weird kind of style and tone to it.
I actually completely forgot that game existed. I don't really remember the game. But
while Alex was playing Mario and Rabbids, I was checking the Rabbids, Guild the Rabbids. I was checking out Monster Hunter World, the multiplayer demo. It was the final demo of the show being played by the director of the game, and that looked so good. There's so many technical advances because this series has been stuck on the basically PlayStation 2 era. PlayStation 2 graphics, slightly improved, but basically nothing's changed that much since the PS2 era. You had a map that was cut into like 10 sections, and each time you went to a section, it had to load that section. Basically in this one, it's all open world in one area, no loading at all. And the big new dynamic is that the monsters that all live in the one area, they react to each other now. So the guy on the quest, though, the main person was trying to fight this thing called an Agaros, I think it's called, which is basically looks like a T-Rex. On the way, you're using these fireflies which give you the direction of where the monster is, and you got stopped and you watched another monster come in, and there are these herbivore-like dinosaurs walking around, and he just goes over and just scoops one up into his maw and it swallows it whole into its gullet. He turns twice as big just swallowing this thing whole. And so the fireflies tell you to follow him, and you follow that monster, and it spits out chunks of that dinosaur it just ate for its little ones. And so you got to sneak around while they're eating until you finally find the T-Rex monster, whatever it's called, the Agaros, I think I said. And you end up fighting him for a while. And you've got different kinds of weapons. The main director liked using these twin blades, which are super fast. And if you can jump, you can really do some damage quick, but they're weak on damage. They showed one person was using a long sword for a while, which is the one I used to use all the time. And there's even one that's a Gatling gun. You could just mow down with it. But anyway, he was ticking off the monster for a while, and they started having him chase him down. And so you ended up chasing him into a nest of an what do they call it? Azeroth. Anyway, Sephiroth. I have the friggin' Atheros.
Are they the raptor things?
The Rather.
They're the one-winged angels.
They're the dragons, basically, of Monster Hunter. And so the dragon saw the other monster in its nest and started attacking it and picking it up and dropping it onto the ground. And
oh my god!
And they get to a big fight, and then he had to start fighting the dragon, which he wasn't prepared for. So then he called in the other three. He shot a flare and called in the other three people through online multiplayer. They actually follow. They find out where you're at, and they can help you fight that dragon. But you then ended up not killing him. He went back. They went back and fought the monster again. And the monster, by this time, was real damaged. He starts limping, and it goes over to a little area to sleep. And everybody crept up and got these big old explosive barrels and lined them up all around the monster and shot him off all at once, damaging him. And it's just the environment is much more interactive. The monsters have their own AI this time, which is really, really impressive, and it's just looks like a really, really great game.
Did they give you any kind of indication on how the multiplayer for that was structured? Because if it is going to be whatever they consider an MMO, do you think that would be big groups of people in the same area? Do you think it's going to be much more like a Dark Souls type thing where you're just summoning extra people when you need them, or maybe a party system, or do you think they're waiting to show that off?
The last two Monster Hunter games I played, the online multiplayer was always a party system. Usually you always start out together. This is the first time I've seen one where you're starting off alone and the other people join you. Now, if it's a big enough world that the other people are just doing their own thing, which could be because they kept switching cameras to another player and somebody else was just collecting stuff and fighting a different monster that was weaker until the flare went up. So it's possible that you're all starting the same universe and might be doing different objections and then just gather together when you need it. So, because that's how it used to be. It used to be just a big party system.
So what I'm wondering is, number one, does the combat look any better than the old games, or is it still that kind of that same clunky Monster Hunter affair that we've had for years?
Combat strongly based on animation, priority, and timing.
Yeah, that's pretty much still there. If that worries you, then that. Yeah, I think you can focus your camera more on the monster if you need to. There's another thing where they have numbers that show how much damage you're doing to the monster. I'm hoping they could take that off in options because it just looks weird having that on the camera while you're playing. Because usually if you damage a monster enough, it'll start limping. It'll start behaving in a different way, so you know you're hurting it. I don't really need those numbers.
My other question is how scripted the demo look? Because
it's not scripted at all. Because
scripted.
No, I mean, well, the players were kind of scripted in the way they were behaving because they were doing this for a demo and they've been doing this for like 3 days in a row. But the monsters themselves, the way their behavior isn't exactly scripted. Because I saw this demo before single player, like the day before, because it was a surprise I was able to get in to see the multiplayer demo because it was the last demo of the show and they didn't schedule anybody, so anybody could just walk in. But the first time I had to wait 2 hours in line just to watch the single player demo. And at one point, the T-Rex gets knocked off the tree and onto the floor. And so the one player jumped off the tree and had his sword he's about to stab it right to the monster. And the monster just dodged out of the way and then he hit the ground. and that wasn't intentional. So he's like, and the guy was like, "Oh man."
So are they
So-
saying 2018 for this game?
Yeah, 2018 for this game. I can't wait because I'm a Monster Hunter fan, and this one graphically looks like the best one. My only gripe is they still have the problem of clipping. Like when you go to gather stuff from the monster's guts, you're still clipping through the monster and doing the
It's
digging
all
animation.
canned animation, not dynamic.
Yeah. The problem is it's still canned animation. Plus, sometimes when the monster lies its head down on the ground, its head is clipping through the ground, and they got to fix that. That's
Well,
still
as long
early
as
in development.
Yeah, as long as they're not going to say ask for a subscription fee attached to it, then I don't know. Maybe you'll have a hunting buddy.
I also
Yeah,
got the,
they never do a subscription for Monster Hunter, so I'm sure they won't.
Well, this is also a different Monster Hunter.
I also got to see a theater thing at the Sony booth. And so did Jason. It was
but we did it. We did
Spider-Man.
it separately, but we both saw Spider-Man.
And
being
my
played.
gosh, like I know I'm a Spider-Man fan, so maybe I'm biased, but my gosh, does that game look fun? Like it's kind of like the Arkham Asylum play style when it comes to how combat works, but it's a lot looser. It's a lot more like what you may expect from a Spider-Man game, where he's like jumping around and stuff, and he's not rigidly attacking people like Batman does. So
Right.
like it looks like a nice mix of Arkham style combat and kind of the old school Spider-Man combat from his own games. It looks so gosh darn fun. Yeah.
I need to see some actual closer to release gameplay of that, because the trailer that they used in E3 and the gameplay that they showed off in E3, the press conference, that had a lot of quick time events, and I've heard that it's not as quick time eventy in the actual game. They kind of saved that for the big scene, but man, in that video they showed a lot of quick time event stuff.
I have a
I
feeling.
don't know. I didn't think that looked too overbearing.
I think that's pretty much saved for like any big epic moments. And let's be honest, God of War had tons of quick time.
Yeah.
I also don't play God of War, so there you go.
Well, God of War still has a lot of fun regular combat.
When Kratos starts slinging webs from his hands and jumping around New York, then we'll talk.
Okay. In any case, I think
Before we talk
the
about-
last regular game we played was Yakuza, which may be a good
I'll let you
segue.
talk
into
about
that.
that while I get something to drink real quick, because my throat's a bit parched. So you go ahead.
So yeah, Yakuza 6. I really don't have too much to say about that game, honestly, because it's like it has a really fun combat system, just like Yakuza 0 did. I played the demo had two modes: a story-centric mode and just an open world mode where you can just kind of walk around and beat the crap out of people. I played the open world mode. You have a question?
I hear talk that you get to beat up a YouTuber.
I haven't done that yet, but that would be cool. But I was mostly just beating up random thugs on the street. And what I really love about this battle system is that these fights don't just take place in one contained area. Like they can just take place anywhere in the open world. Like if you don't want to have a fight in the street and you want to take it indoors, you can just run into a restaurant, grab a table, and break it over somebody's head. it's just such an open and free game now when it comes to combat. You can go and see your personal trainer and exercise to strengthen up your muscles, and these exercise games they're like mini games. They're like rhythm games, and the better you do at them, the more you get out of the workout session. And it's like like all Yakuza mini games. It's kind of cute. The guy has a bit of personality to him, and you can also buy all sorts of food from restaurants and stuff, which I think was also in Yakuza 0. So nothing too new there. But it's just a really fun open world brawler, and I really need to start playing this franchise ASAP, because I am missing out on some great stuff.
Yeah, have you never played Yakuza 5 or any of the others?
I have only played the original and a bit of 2.
Okay, the original's coming. The original's coming back on PS4
Yeah, Kiwami.
as a remake.
I'm hoping that they've completely remade the battle system because that was my big issue with the original.
Yeah, this time when you go to battle, there's no, okay, there's a little loading section. No, you're instantly in battle, which I find amazing. And now a first-person mode where you're going through, what's the name of the district?
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Hello? Is something going on?
I hear you.
Okay.
I was saying Kamurocho. You can now do a first-person view through Kamurocho, which actually the Sega booth is also that little section was completely dressed up to look like Kamurocho, which is really cool.
Cool. Yeah, it was a gorgeous booth. Way better design than last year too, because it was no longer just this narrow strip of floor filled with demos and people. It was it was basically 2 separate booths that were pretty open. And
what's crazy is both the Sega booth and the Atlas booth both had the Sonic games in both booths.
Like, once we understood where the line started, I'd argue that Sega definitely had one of the better organized and more accessible booths in the convention.
Yeah, they had a good booth this year.
Like, even Natsumi was too inconvenient for us to try. Of course, they also just had Harvest Moon, which I had no interest in. But yeah, it's basically Sega and Nintendo. They had the best booths this year, I think. Sony probably had the worst. If only
Sony was all the gameplay was reserved for an app as far as going to a demo, except for Knack 2. We both got to play Knack 2, and I liked it, that one.
It's better than the original Extra, I'm sure.
It's a lot more of a regular platformer now than just a brawler with a few jumps here and there. It's much more of a platform. Plus, it had 2-player simultaneous gameplay, which I enjoyed. Did you like Knack 2?
It was fun. Like, the combat's still as simplistic as any Lego game, but the actual platforming was good.
Well, it's designed more for kids than adults as far as that game goes.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything for me. But
now, back to the Sega booth, I think it's time to talk about the 2 Sonic games.
Really? You don't want to talk about Total War? We could talk about Total War. No, we couldn't.
I never played Total War.
But yeah, Sonic. So
tell me about Sonic Runner's Adventure.
I don't know. We never got to play that one.
That wasn't at E3 GX. So
we could either talk about the one that the Sonic game that had twice as long lines and had all the Game of the Year awards plastered
the one
on it,
people wanted to play versus the one that the game that nobody asked for.
Yeah, or Forces.
Hey, people were asking for a new 3D Sonic game. Just a lot more people are complaining, it seems.
Yeah.
Well, they're both solid games. I mean, one's definitely better than the other. I say.
Yeah.
If the thing of this is, if Sonic Forces was by itself at any other E3, I would have been more hyped for it. But after playing, after playing through 2 levels of Mania and having an absolute blast, it just blows Forces out of the water in terms of quality.
Yeah, Sonic Mania. I guess we'll talk about Sonic Mania first. I guess Sonic Mania. What that game really has going for it is just its level design. It has probably the best level design out of any Sonic game I've ever played. I'm including the originals here, like the Genesis game.
Yeah, imagine Sonic CD if the level design didn't actually suck. And it's nice and big.
I wouldn't even compare it to Sonic CD, but because the levels they're labyrinthian, but they're also really easy to get around in and really fun to get around in. Because if you want to explore, you can just explore. You can go left, you can go right, you can go up, you can go down. And sure, there are certain gimmicks that you have to hit in order to get to certain areas. In Mirage Saloon, there is this there's this seltzer bottle, this giant seltzer bottle that you have to hit, and temporarily creates a
new path.
Lane of a new path made out of water. And if you're fast, you can go up it. you can get to a new area. And if you miss, you'll fall down, and like there's no way to get back up unless you're Knuckles, who is objectively the best character.
Or Tails.
Yeah, I guess her Tails. but it's just such an exceedingly well designed, gorgeous game. I mean, one thing I like about this game is that they didn't just take Genesis graphics and make new levels with it. They actually like improved the animation. They improved the character sprites. The stages are much more colorful than anything that you could do on 16-bit, or at least the Sega Genesis.
And if you're wondering if there's any difference between the PS4 and Switch versions of Sonic Mania, there's not. They look exactly alike.
Aside from, one is portable, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
but the Mirage Saloon, it's filled with gimmicks. I mentioned the Seltzer bottle, but there's also this big old 6-shooter revolver gun that can shoot you into other parts of the level. They're like these little, they're these bar stools in front of these actual little bar tavern things.
You spin on, and they're kind of like the barrels that you spin on Sonic 2, I think it is.
I
stuck on them.
And it's such a fun game. Yeah.
I was going to say.
Go on.
There's also Green Hill Zone Act 2, which
yes.
is even a bigger improvement over what we played at the 25th anniversary, because now you got shields in the mix. So
it is almost a whole new
fire shield from Sonic 3 and burst through certain parts, or those bridges that have the spines on them that circle around and always hit you. You can now burn those bridges, and there's a secret area with more monitors down below. So it's just such a well-designed level. It looks like it's going to be a great game. Like I said in my review, Sonic Retro always said, yeah, we can make a better Sonic game than Sonic Team can. And this year, they really proved them right. I mean, you take those side by side, they have made a much better Sonic game.
And let me tell you,
did, I think.
Let me tell you that jump dash.
I like the Sonic Team game. That's the thing.
The jump dash, I didn't really use it much back at Sonic Boom, but at E3, the jump dash is just such a fun move to use, because whenever you're in the air, you can hold the jump button, you can spin it, you can start spinning, hit the ground, just boom, instant speed. It's just, if you time it well enough, you can really blast through some stages with that.
All right, and the other one we played.
Before we do that, so here's kind of the weird question I have. And you might not be able to answer it just based on your E3 experience, but maybe between being able to talk to Aaron Weber or anything. How do you feel that Sega is kind of positioning Sonic Mania, especially in comparison to something like Sonic Forces? Do you feel that this is something that they have a lot of energy about, more so than other projects? Do you feel like they're really pushing this? Do you feel like they're giving a lot of support to this game?
I think this game's getting plenty of support from
I've seen. I mean, you got trailers like crazy. We got a lot of ads in that, and even I guess we didn't mention in Big Hallway the Sonic Mania / Sonic Forces little trampoline game they had.
You had some experience with that.
Screen. Yeah, and basically there's a big old golden ring hanging high above the air, and you had to get on the trampoline and try to jump and grab that ring, and if you did, you got to enter a chance to win $1,000. And one guy grabbed it, yanked it so hard it bursted the ring into 5 pieces.
Wow.
But I'm primarily asking because I'm trying to get a sense of how Sega is going to interpret this game, because like you said, between this and Freedom Planet, it is kind of showing that, yes, these fans, especially with these small-scale projects like this, really are kind of tapping into what, let's say, lapsed Sonic fans didn't get out of something like a project like Sonic 4.
I mean, as near as I can tell, they're basically treating it as an equal to Sonic Forces. Like, the only place where Sonic Forces is positioned in a superior way is just in its launch window. You know, like Sonic Mania is getting summer and Forces is getting fall or winter. But beyond that, like, they had equal space at E3. They had they had equal promotion. There really isn't, like, it doesn't really feel like this is being treated as a lesser game by the company.
No, not in any way.
Ultimately, my hope is this does well. Therefore, let's continue to make more of these small-scale projects of this style.
Yeah, like, I don't know if they would interpret it that way. I hope so. That would be cool. I think that they're definitely, like, when you look at Sega Forever and then Sonic Mania, they're definitely looking at
Do we have to look at Sega Forever? Because I'd prefer to avert my eyes.
Well, we're going to have to talk about that later, Chris. I'm sorry. But, so, yeah, Sonic Mania, this is definitely the better Sonic game coming out this year. And I say this as someone who loves Generations and Colors. It's just, there's no question about it to me.
You had some criticisms on Sonic Stadium concerning the not necessarily creating the character, but playing as the created character.
Oh,
okay, we're going into Forces now. Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, okay. Do you have anything else to say about Mania, Jason?
No, I think we've covered up pretty much.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
like,
this is the game where I was playing it, and I actually go, "Wow, this is fun!" While I'm playing it, and people are watching. Like,
Sonic Forces. This is.
Sonic Forces, I'm like, Sonic Mania, I'm like,
so
woo, I'm having fun. And Sonic Forces, I'm like, yeah, this is all right. This is pretty good.
Sonic, I liked it way more than that. But Sonic Forces, this game is so close to being really good. But that Avatar gameplay is just such a mess right now. And it's such a mess in such a simple way. And that way is the platforming. And
to be fair,
you just can't excuse this.
To be fair, the second time we got to play an Avatar gameplay was the Switch version, where you play through the modern Sonic's level. And modern Sonic's level is all about speed, hitting homing attacks, doing little tricks and everything. And when you're doing that as the Avatar, it's fun, it's visceral. It was actually my favorite level that I think I played at E3, and it was fine.
Like
just to set a baseline, this game is more or less Sonic Generations 2, right?
Yeah.
I'd hesitate to say Generations 2 outright, only because I don't think this game's going to be all about revisiting old areas.
Well,
I think it's probably going to be a mix.
Obviously not in tone.
You're talking about gameplay.
But in terms of gameplay.
In gameplay, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Like, the modern Sonic plays like modern Sonic, except now, so long as you're on the PS4 or Xbox One, it's in gorgeous 1080, it's in gorgeous 60 frames per second.
Not really Xbox One. Like I said, I did get a chance to play it on Xbox One. It seemed like it was around 720p.
Well,
and like
this is why I stopped myself mid 1080 with the resolution, because I don't care about that. The frame rate's gorgeous, though.
Yeah, PS4 versions that were at E3 were on PS4 Pro. They looked like they were playing on like an Ultra PC setting as far as this game goes. It looked gorgeous on the PS4. I mean, really, really good.
I have never seen that kind of game running 60 frames before, but my gosh. I do enjoy seeing it move in such a smooth way. It's just gorgeous. But anyway,
one thing that made that level a little better is that if you get the lightning gun, because here's an important thing to know.
We're back on Avatar now.
Let's go back to Avatar.
Hold on, before you do that, set up the level. Like,
yes,
what is the demo level that they're having you play?
Well, there were two demo levels. So the first one was this almost entirely side-scrolling Green Hill stage, and this was the one we had loads of issues with. And the other one was this kind of 3D and 2D stage based on that destroyed city that we keep seeing in all the promotional.
Yeah, it was basically modern Sonic's level, like I said, but you're playing through it again as the
and the second stage is a lot better because there's almost no platforming in it, and instead it's focusing entirely on Wisp-Pungs, which is basically the gun, Wisp powers, and the homing attack, which is basically The home in this game, your character doesn't homing attack. He doesn't roll. He doesn't spin.
He homing attacks by using a grappling hook.
He
that
just
grapples
uses a
onto the
grappling
enemies
hook.
and then hits it. But it's almost the exact same thing as a homing attack, really.
I'd say there's a slight delay with the.
There is a
grappling
delay,
hook,
but it's basically the same thing.
It doesn't bother me at all. Like the delay makes sense for the character. But,
right. Anyway, there's two different Wispens you can choose from. There's a burst Wispen, which allows you to have a flamethrower, plus you can use the burst wisps to shoot yourself up in the air,
a lightning
rings. And the electric one, it's an electric whip to hit the enemies with at a long distance. Plus, it also uses the light speed dash, so if you get a trail of rings, you can shoot off real far. And for this 2D level, that worked out better. But it's all at that PS4 Avatar level is all in 2D, and you're going under these crab legs that are trying to stomp you and lifting up and having to get it under them like it's a thwomp or something from Super Mario.
So,
And the jumping in here has to be precise, and when this character jumps, it wants to jump too fast and too far, too quickly, and it's hard to pull it back to get it onto the platform right. And that's the main problem is it likes to over jump, and its jump physics are just not accurate, so you end up dying more than you should.
The jump physics are very, very stiff.
So, quick question. I want to bring this back around to the Wisp powers, because they kind of already announced that that's something that's going to be returning, but you emphasized some of them as kind of like weapons. Is this particular game like combat heavy in any way, or
no?
Does it still retain a good pace?
No, the avatars,
not especially combat heavy in the demos.
Only the avatars use the wisps, except for speed wisps that Modern Sonic can use. But any other colored wisps, only avatars use them, and they each get a different kind of gun they can choose from. And the guns are wisp based and wisp fueled, so they can either have a flamethrower, so you can run through enemies just holding down the flamethrower and killing them all at once, or if you wanted to use their burst power, you can collect the burst wisps and burst through the air, and like I said, collect coins. So there's two different ways to use the wisps with the avatar characters.
Okay, because combat-focused Sonic games usually don't end very well.
Maybe the main game could have a combat focus, but I don't really think that's necessary for these Wisp powers to be useful, because one thing I like about them is that even the Wisp weapons have kind of a traversal element to them. Like the flamethrower, when you use that on enemies and you hold it down, you actually pick up speed. And with the lightning whip, not only can you just allow you to just kind of accelerate through enemies, it allows you to just accelerate, period, for as long as you're pressing it. And so it kind of helps you speed up, and it helps you redirect the direction of your jump, which is a neat little detail for that thing.
Which is kind of important when the jump physics are off.
Now, like, hopefully, like, they'll fix the jump physics, because we're not the only people who had issues with this. I was watching a Game Explain video from E3, and they were having the same issues in the same area. Like,
I might watch that later tonight.
Like, you just can't jump right with the avatar, and that's such a shame, because everything else about this character works really well. Just fix the jump physics, and this will be a fun part of the game.
Yeah, this is one of the first few modern Sonic games where the extra gimmick doesn't suck. Basically,
The Warhawk was okay.
The Warhawk was okay, but I mean, actually, no, the Wisps were the best. Are probably still the best gimmick that.
Oh yeah, that's because they were integrated into the main game as power-ups rather than its own thing.
Well, this is also the first Sonic game in a while where they have 3 individual styles of play, and I know Sega has this really bad habit of whenever they split up between multiple styles of play, it all just falls apart.
Well,
they don't focus on any one of them and perfecting it.
It feels more like 2.5 because the Avatar plays a lot like modern Sonic does.
Well, I wouldn't say this is as
feels
divorced.
a lot more like modern Sonic than even classic Sonic does.
This isn't as divorced from the main gameplay as, say, the Werehog was.
Or the cat or something like that.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of crossover.
This character plays like Sonic plays, basically.
Well,
except with the weapon.
Well, close enough. Like he's still, like I said, he's still slower. He still doesn't have the roll or the jump dash or anything. But and he can't boost. I might add.
But you know what? They might get those abilities later. This does because you're dealing with a create a character avatar with bonus items and bonus stuff. You can see that this is going to become a carrot on the stick thing, where the more you play and the more you collect rings and red rings, the more stuff you'll be able to get for the character you're creating.
And I
mean, I knew this was going to happen because when you're playing as classic Sonic and defeating Eggman, if you get hit and you lose rings, you don't get those rings back now. Those rings are gone because they want you to collect rings probably for your avatar to buy stuff for him.
Or real money per rings, microtransactions.
Chris, I will reach through my computer monitor and strangle you. I will strangle you to death. That is a real threat.
Chow backpack, only $10.
If you scan in this Sonic amiibo, you'll get exclusive parts.
I mean, now going back to the Avatar bit, hopefully, like, maybe the only reason why it sucks is because there's an improvement you can get very early on in the game that fixes it. But I'd rather it just be good from the
it's possible because you're playing through the early levels. That's why it kind of plays a little wonkier. I don't know.
Did they give
I guess hope they fix it.
So did they give you a sense of obvious? I've heard from others that they haven't given you a chance to actually use the creation tools.
Yeah,
no, they don't have that because they did. Aaron Weber said on an interview they didn't want them spending half an hour creating their own character before playing the level.
But based on the randomly created ones that you received, did it give you any sort of sense of what types of things you could accomplish with it?
A bit. The most noticeable difference I found was with the wolf, which could attract rings to it, which made the game a little easier. Beyond that, not too much. Like at one point, I got to play as a death rabbit, which was like a rabbit with I don't know, some kind of weird mask.
Okay,
thing.
So you got to play as Max of Sam and Max fame.
No, this one looks eviler than Max, but.
Don't write checks you can't cash.
Okay, he looks less funny than Max. How's that? I realize Max is very evil, but he doesn't look like he's a funny guy.
On the plus note, you've now helped me design what my special character will be.
Oh God. In any case, but like I played as a death rabbit, I played as a cat, I played as a wolf, and
I never got to play as a wolf.
I didn't notice. Well, that one was only coming up very rarely. But I didn't really notice too much of a difference between
That's
them.
another thing. In the E3 demos, the avatars would just pop up random, whatever one you got.
Yeah. So
I think we should mention the graphical differences so we could bring up the Switch.
Yeah, but
because go ahead.
Do we want to talk about the Switch Avatar stage a bit more?
There's nothing much more to say.
There was this one Wisp power that we didn't really. We didn't really touch too much on the Wisp powers. Now, like I
thought I did.
The Switch stage, the Switch stage was kind of a good. It was kind of a good example of all of the Wisp, both the Wisp powers on display. Because of course we had the lightning one, which Jason mentioned, which lets you light speed dash. But then there's this other one that lets you jump through the air repeatedly with explosions.
It's called the Knuckles and Sonic Boom.
And like what you could do is you could jump into the air, start gathering rings that are up in the air, and then hit another one of the red explosive wisps to refuel your power to keep going. And that just felt so good to use, and that's when the Avatar really clicked with me. Finally, is when
it's also a way to get red rings. So that's another thing. Because you're using different Wisp powers, is where they hide some of the red rings. You will have to replay levels to get all of the red rings at once. You won't be able to get them all in one go.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to highlight something you said because I'm a little bit confused and might need some clarification on this.
Sorry.
Is the Switch version just a different demo, or is it actually going to be a
It's-
different design
right.
game?
No. It's just that one demo. Otherwise, if you look at a Switch video of E3, they still use the same modern Sonic and classic Sonic levels.
Yeah,
it's just that
it's just the avatar stage.
level was different. Gameplay wise and everything, they're the exact same as the PS4, Xbox 360 version. The only thing it suffers is, like I predicted a few episodes back, is that it's at 30 frames a second on the Switch. It looks like it's 720p without anti-aliasing. Some of the textures, like on buildings, look kind of like PS2 type.
I wouldn't
textures
go
and stuff.
that far, but it doesn't.
Well,
look,
if you've
looks
seen
good.
pictures of the PS4 version versus Switch versus as far as buildings go, you can tell there's some texture issues.
It's basically it's like, think of this in PC terms.
Alex saw some lighting issues that I didn't see.
I took a picture.
What surprised me is that they still had a lot of effects that I thought they would get cut that are still in there, like all the fire coming down from the sky. The wavy grass is still all there. So what they've been
Reflecting water.
The way they've been able to port it is about as good a port as you can get for Switch versus PS4, and I'm still pretty impressed with the way it looks all around for Switch.
Were they only showing the Switch version in portable mode, or did you get to see it hooked up to TV?
If you go to Nintendo, you can see it in docked mode and in portable. Portable looks better just because the screen's smaller. It hides some of that stuff.
So I guess my follow-up to that would be, when it's docked, does it at least support 1080?
No,
it didn't. It definitely didn't at the show.
It didn't look 1080 at all. It looked very jagged and it looked like it was 720p without anti-aliasing. Basically,
That's kind of concerning.
Where the Xbox One version also looked kind of like 720, but looked like it was fuzzy, so it looked like it had anti-aliasing in it.
Now look,
and to be fair, again, like we were saying, the PS4 version played at the show was the PS4 Pro version. It's like comparing. Okay, PS4 Pro version is the ultra settings. Xbox One is the medium to high settings, and the Switch version is the low settings.
There's an important thing to note about E3 demos, though, and that is that these things are always very incomplete technologically. Like both Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations had some serious performance issues at their respective E3s that were mostly resolved by the time the games actually came out. So,
I believe you 100%. I still want to express concern.
Yeah.
As long as they keep a 30 frame rate, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's the idea of them not being able to push 1080 on the Switch that just kind of leaves me a bit concerned. And obviously, they might fix it between now and launch, or it might stay the same and I might not care, but it seems like a weird thing to not have.
I wouldn't really agree with that because, like, look at Snake Pass. Snake Pass, that's not 1080p on console mode.
I've never seen it on console, unfortunately.
Snake Pass is I picked it for Switch because it's a slow moving game and you can play that at 30 frames, no problem. But you compare that version compared to the PS4 Pro version, which plays at 60 frames a second and it's 1080, and Snake Pass is 30 frames and 720 on Switch, and it's not that big a deal really because that game is slow moving and it's better for portable play, I think.
Like, just keep in mind, that's
the best comparison as far as the graphical differences between Sonic Forces on PS4 and Sonic Forces on the.
This is basically a
Switch,
gorgeous. This is basically
Switch passes.
Yeah. This is basically a gorgeous PS4 Pro game being downgraded to run on a Tegra chip. Like, I don't really know if you should really expect 1080p from this. That being said, I think that this may very well have just been portable mode on the TV because I didn't notice any appreciable difference between portable mode and dock mode. And like,
it's possible
that is better.
It's possible that it's still early enough in development that they haven't really refined the dock mode part of it. Because
like dock mode should be better.
Like I said, when you're playing it on portable, you don't really notice, except for the frame rate, you can't really notice much difference. It still looks great.
I didn't really say that to intend to make this a big to-do. I'm just saying I have some concern when you say that.
I mean, let me just say that like the game plays fine. So if you don't, so far as I'm concerned,
I believe you. I believe everything that you're saying. I believe that there's all the possibility in the world that things could change. That doesn't change. I still have some concern. Concern, and I think it's, for me, in my mind, it speaks more to, I don't have a good gauge yet on what the Switch is capable of graphically, because my comparisons are things like Mario Kart and Zelda, which look amazing and are 1080p and are admittedly built to the Switch, with the Switch primarily in mind, which does make things different.
It drives me nuts when people say, well, how come they can't put Overwatch on the Switch? Look at ARMS. Look at how the characters look there. Well, that problem with that is the way the engines are made, they're made for PS4, Xbox One. They're not made for, a weaker console like the Switch from the ground up, where if Overwatch had been made for the Switch or the ground up, it would look probably, quite a bit as good as almost the PS4. Xbox One
I trust you on that, and I believe it fully. It's just, I also know if any company would have gotten earlier Switch units and could best form this game to look its best on the Switch, I believe it would have been Sega. And again, everything could change. I'm fully admitting that. This is a third-party game. This is kind of a test bed for what I might be seeing out of the Switch in terms of what people other than Nintendo are going to do. And if other people cannot get the same type of fidelity out of the Switch that Nintendo is, as the same thing happened on the Wii U, as the same thing happened on the Wii, that is a concern. And I feel that that's a very legitimate concern. And I don't know what to say other than we will see, but I am afraid that this might be telling.
I think if the system keeps being as successful as it has been as for terms of sales, I think third parties will care more and more to start, doing better ports for that system. I mean, if Sega had started this game as a Nintendo Switch, game built up to PS4 and Xbox, One, then it would probably look a lot better than it does now. But of course, it was in development before the Switch before they probably had development units of the Switch. So of course, it was a program for PS4 and Xbox One first. Originally, I was going to say, my original plans for Sonic Lost World was to buy it on PC for modding and then switch for portable. But now, after playing at E3 and seeing how beautiful it looks on PS4 in comparison to Switch, I might just keep it on the PS4.
Personally,
I might just buy the PS4 version.
I am definitely getting it on the Switch, just going by what I've played, because it plays great on it. It plays.
It's the portability that makes every single port tempting.
I've been wanting a game like this on a portable system for like a decade now. And
I think if Switch is your only option, you're still going to be very happy with this game.
That being said, I am considering buying a second version of the game on a higher end platform, simply because it's so gorgeous to look at on those other platforms. Like
plus with Sonic, you kind of want to play Sonic games at 60 frames a second. Sonic Generations on my PC has got me spoiled now.
I mean, I don't know. Like I can live with 30, but I'm seriously considering getting it on my PC or maybe my PS4. I'm seriously considering that.
Okay, we've
So,
talked a lot about all that. I guess we will get into the Sonic news. And one of the things that we found out is that Sonic Runners Adventure has come out in Russia and certain areas of the UK.
Yay!
And it seems to
Perfect
play a lot
markets.
like the original Sonic Runners.
Is it better written than the original Sonic Runners?
I hope not.
Because the original Sonic Runners had the best story, by which I mean it had no story, but it
It had the worst
a lot
stories.
of dialogue.
Yep. But nothing happened. But I hear this is one you could play offline finally.
Yay!
Which, thank God for that.
It is Gameloft, and they're usually somewhat sensitive to that.
And
I know,
you can play a free-to-play mode with microtransactions, or for I think $4 or $5, you can actually just buy the full game
Oh,
without having to deal with anything. And that's cool.
I really appreciate that.
I am probably gonna buy that game.
Yeah, just buy it. Screw the microtransactions and ads and
Do you
everything.
think that that might have been maybe a response to how the first original runners didn't meet their expectations?
Yeah, I mean,
I would imagine so.
the first runners had solid like gameplay and ideas to it. It was all the microtransactions, all the having to stay online, that really ruined that game for me and really made me hate it.
Yeah, and and of course when they decided to stop supporting the game, well, I can't play it anymore. That was a huge pain in the ass. Well, okay, a minor pain in the ass. I didn't care that much, but still. But I am definitely looking more forward to this one because I liked the gameplay. I guess didn't like all the typical mobile crap associated with it.
Right.
Now, GX, how close have you been following Sonic Runners Adventure?
You guys have talked about it, and I listened to you, and then I
All
asked
right.
a question.
All right. So, like, have we talked about it in the previous podcast? I forget.
No, because it was just
All right.
came out. It just came out, and
Because, like,
basically, there's video of it out there, and it looks like it plays exactly like Sonic Runners.
That's not entirely accurate though, because there are some significant changes, including level changes. Like there are now three kinds of there are now 3 kinds of levels. There's
There were before.
Really, there were.
Yeah, you had the Sonic type of style levels that were just like I guess sort of a Green Hilly style. You had Tails levels, which I think looked like ruins or something, and then you had Knuckles levels, which kind of looked like.
I'm not referring to character-themed levels. I'm referring to like actual level design.
I know, but that also changed the motifs as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this particular one, you could play either endless or get your character to a goal, and then that's the end of the level.
All right,
There's finite and infinite, and I don't know what else there is.
Now,
There's
given I played some of the later era stuff of Sonic Runners. Maybe you stopped earlier than I did.
I did not get nearly as far as you of that, I'm sure, because I wasn't really that into it. So I only got through I don't know, the first few levels, maybe 7 or 8.
I liked it. I thought it was all right. I think
It was fun, but
once you were able to get some good items to help you. Unfortunately, I also got into the habit of, well, I guess I'm going to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger plug this war game again so that I can beat this other person and get extra rings in the daily competition or something, which I'm not thrilled about, but I did it, and I still had fun with it. There
is now an inaccurate Sonic Stadium article out there, because I treated those level types like they were new. So now a couple of weeks ago, First Four Figures announced their 25th anniversary statue, and my God,
is it expensive?
Yes,
I was about to say that.
It is expensive, but it is gorgeous. And
is this the classic? Is this the classic Sonic one?
Yeah, the one where there's a signpost and there's
the figure 8 running. Oh,
yeah. I want that so much, but it's so gosh darn expensive. And they're saying that, like, if this doesn't sell well, we're not making any more. It's like, dude, it's so expensive. Like, how can you make this the big decision maker?
I mean, that's what First 4 does, though. I mean, they design these gorgeous statuettes of different licensed things, and they sell them for an extraordinarily premium price to
Yeah. I mean, they're worth it.
collectors, and that's kind of their business model. I mean, you
Like,
could complain, but I mean, that's
I'm
what
not.
they've done for decades.
I'm not exactly complaining per se, but it's because I do think it's a bit of a shame that this super expensive one is the one that the whole line hinges on now. All
Well, I
because
think they made some bad decisions on
Silver
who
the
exactly
Hedgehog. Oh my
there was absolutely no reason for them to make a silver statue.
Yeah.
I don't hate silver as much as, well, that's not fair. I actually kind of do hate silver, but you don't do silver. You
Yeah.
don't. Nobody cares about silver, and the
I mean-
ones that do probably aren't going to pay several $100
Yeah.
to have a silver statue.
In fairness, I have 2 statues from them, but they are freaking Ryo Hazuki and Vice from Skies of Arcadia. You know, like, these are some great premium characters from some great premium games. So
Not
it's like,
only
they're
that,
worth it.
Those are niche in such a way that the people who care about those probably do
yeah.
$300 care about them.
Yeah, like I would be willing to pay more for this stuff, and I mean, like, I forget how much I spent on these things. I'm pretty sure they weren't as expensive as this 25th anniversary statue, but you know, they were still well over 100.
I mean, hey, if you have a chance, just go online and look at it and
Yeah,
appreciate it that way because it's gorgeous. If you have plenty of excess income, by all means, support people who do that. But I mean, it looks
if
good.
you are good at managing your money, they do have payment plans where, like, you can pay for it in affordable installment over the course of 7 months.
Do they seriously?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you didn't know that? I'm so sorry.
I feel real bad. I just don't. This is where commercialism ends. This is where commercialism goes to die.
I mean, I think the 7-month one was $39, I believe. And
I take it back. This is what you do. You go to Good Smiles website and you get and you pre-order the dang Ooh La La Figma, and that's how you do it. That's making the right choice in life.
Yeah, Ooh La La is objectively better.
That said, if First 4 Figures made a Jet Set Radio beat,
I thought they did that.
Don't tell me that.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Do not tell me that.
I think I was like, I was looking at buying it, but I think they maybe sold out, which would be good for you. I don't know. I'll send you a link if they have it.
Don't you send me a link. I'm saving up for a 3D printer. Do not dare send me a link to that.
Oh God, now I have to. In any case, so I might be tempted to make this my birthday present with the monthly installments, maybe. But beyond that, I do hope that this thing sells well enough that we can get another Knuckles statue. Because I didn't buy their first one.
I didn't buy any of their stuff because they're friggin' $400, $500 a statue. I can't afford that stuff.
But all right, so now
it's like,
of course,
looks nice. I'm never gonna buy one, but it looks nice.
And of course, there's also the launch of Sega Forever.
There sure was.
Which, DX has an opinion on that.
I don't have as much of an opinion as you think I do. I just think everything around it just
Green Hill Zone Act 1. Here's another 30-second ad to watch.
I just think everything surrounding it sounds really ill-conceived and really, really stupid. What?
I mean, the only thing I've played from them was what was the Sonic the Hedgehog 1 thing, which I guess isn't really being emulated through Unity because it plays pretty well. But as I understand it, the emulation for the other games is pretty bad.
Christian Whitehead.
Yeah, I mean, if they redid that one in the Unity, they're freaking idiots. Like, those are good custom-made ports that they never ported onto any other system for whatever reason.
I mean, they play great on my NVIDIA Shield.
Hey, was Crazy Taxi part of the launch list? Because I noticed they had a free version of the arcade.
Here's the thing, though. Yeah. There is a Crazy Taxi clicker game.
That's the stupidest thing. I know. I saw that.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what you're seeing. I also know that they've also... Here's one of the big issues I have with this.
I mean, I didn't mind the other Crazy Taxi mobile game. I thought that was okay. I kind of enjoyed that one. But a clicker, a football manager, basically, Crazy Taxi? What the hell are they thinking?
So here's one of the big things I have with this push. It's that a lot of these games are already on mobile.
Yeah.
And they're just now rebranding them? Like, what?
What surprised the hell out of me was that Sega Forever wasn't an app. Like, I was expecting an app.
If they're going to rebrand this, bring out some new stuff, because it shows in the ad they're going to do SG-1000, they're going to do Master System,
Sega
Saturn and Dreamcast. Hey, bring me my free-to-play Sonic Adventure, you know?
I really hope they get their act together before they get to Saturn.
Oh my God, that would be horrible on mobile, I think.
These are all horrible choices for mobile.
Well, here's the thing.
Why would you put it on mobile? This is the stupidest thing.
It's a stupid idea, but
there's rumors they might bring it to Switch.
They mentioned something about Switch, but they would maybe bring it to Switch because it's on freaking Unity.
But here's the thing.
Why would you emulate it on Unity? Unity is a giant, massive cluster of wasted data.
I don't know enough about Unity to comment on that, but I do know that if you want to play these Sega Forever games, a great way to do it is to have access to do it on something with a controller, like a NVIDIA Shield console or portable or whatever. Like they sell controllers for like iPads and iPhones and Androids. Like these things do have controller support.
I say if they do offer a better alternative, they ought to
go to your PC. The Steam sale is on right now. There is nothing that they will put on that Sega Forever thing that isn't already on Steam.
Sega Saturn. And nothing from Sega Saturn's on Steam.
There's Knights on that.
Except for
Knights. And you know darn well they're not going to put anything on mobile that isn't just already done. They're not going to adapt something for Saturn onto mobile that they haven't already redone.
I am praying to God that you are wrong, because like what you're saying is what I was thinking, but I'm hoping that you are wrong.
I think you're giving Sega way too much credit for their dumb mobile push. So one of the things I read about it is the biggest problem, aside from the fact that it's on stupid phones, is that
and Android consoles.
Is that at some point, if I'm understanding the story correctly, they were in talks with RetroArch, which is a well-known emulator on Android systems, which I don't know. Maybe something broke down at that point. I didn't read that far into it, but it kind of sounds like they just slapdash went to Unity, and Unity's a great engine for certain things, but Unity is not really an engine designed to handle a lot of game emulation. It wasn't really built for that.
I'm genuinely surprised that they're using Unity, because like if this thing can't emulate Genesis games, and how the heck are they going to do Sega Saturn or Dreamcast? Like especially Sega Saturn.
And a representative from Digital Foundry is specifically telling people, don't buy these because they're running at 30, and it's not a very good 30 either. Like, I don't know what it has going for it. Like, this is a bizarre push to I don't know who for nostalgia ?
Well,
It's I'm upset because there is a good time right now for Sega to kind of relook at what they have to offer in terms of their back catalog.
that's what they're doing right now, I think.
And, well, obviously that's what it seems like they're trying to do, but if this is the extent that they care, that's really upsetting. I also
think
don't
that
think they should be looking at phones only. There's a PS4 out there, an Xbox One. Even if they're not ready for Switch, I feel like those should have been priorities.
I think the reason why Sega Forever is the way it is because this is probably a fairly new initiative for them. Like, they announced it, in April or maybe March? And
Well, here's
for
the
all,
thing: they wanted to make
I
it a
would
free-to-play.
I would be surprised if they had only just come up with this just before they announced it.
The thing is, if you're going to have a free-to-play system, you're going to have ads, and the best way to do that, of course, is on mobile. It's hard to do that on the Switch compared to you're going to do it on a mobile site where you're going to have, ads for other apps that you can install instantly.
I imagine the whole point of them going mobile is that they want to provide these games for free, and the only practical way to do that is with ads. And so, if you want to do it that way, you got to do it on mobile. And there are mobile consoles. Admittedly, they're not ubiquitous, but they're out there that people can play this stuff on.
I question the logic of it.
So, like a Nintendo Switch or PS4 or Xbox One version, that will require a different system. Like, I imagine they would either have to be subscription based or you pay $2 per game, like on mobile.
Right, and honestly, if I'm getting a better experience, I would gladly pay more than that.
Yeah, like I honestly felt that $2 per game was a little cheap in some cases. Like, it makes sense for Genesis, but when we start moving up to the more complex 3D games, like that's kind of a steal.
I'm baffled by everything surrounding it. I'm baffled by the emulation choices. I'm baffled by the choices of platform. I'm baffled by the marketing surrounding it, and I just don't understand who this is for.
I think this is something that's going to become more refined over time.
I seriously hope so. I seriously hope at some point I actually see a legitimate business plan in this and not, here's our games. We shoved them as quick as we could on the cheapest possible emulator. Go for it. Play with ads or don't. I don't know. But I see great things on the PC. I've seen them do great emulation for other things. I've also seen them do not great emulation for certain games. But they can do better, and I want them to do better because I like some of these games, and I would pay for some of these games on something other than a phone.
Yeah, so would I. Like, I would gladly get this stuff on my Switch. But unfortunately, the toughest part about it is I would get a better quality product if I stole something than if I paid for something or got it with ads. And that's the sore point for me. Well, hopefully they'll improve it. So I think we're ready to move on to something else. Like, I don't know, maybe that this cartoon that we learned a little bit more about from Sonic during Sonic Revolution, namely how it might survive Cartoon Network. Yeah, so like
we did talk about during the interview Q&A, we did talk about, like, are they ever going to leave Sonic Cartoon Network? Because, the way the cartoons being treated on there, they did because
survives Cartoon Network.
They did mention about how it went from Cartoon Network to Boomerang, and Boomerang's ratings are way lower. There's less of a consumer
Nobody
base
has
there.
Boomerang.
I know, which is why I find it funny. They kind of take a sense of pride in, hey, we're the #1 rated show right now on Boomerang. That's probably one of the easiest accomplishments possible right now.
We're an original program on
That's
Boomerang.
the only original program on Boomerang, except for what, Wabbit, and I think Wabbit's in reruns now.
Well, wasn't Wabbit on
Wabbit-
Cartoon
Wabbit-
Network?
Yeah, but
I don't think Wabbit was ever on Cartoon Network.
No, it
I
was
thought
on
it
Cartoon
was.
Network, I think, but it failed. And when something fails on Cartoon Network, it gets moved to Boomerang sometimes.
Or when something does all right on Cartoon Network, but Cartoon Network doesn't care.
True.
It's moved to Boomerang.
That's definitely the case with Sonic.
But as Bill Freiberger was mentioning, it's also an international cartoon, and it's doing great worldwide. It's just not doing that good in the States because of Cartoon Network's mishandling of it.
So it could survive the network.
If you think it, I have doubts of season 3 because I don't know if you guys heard about this. There is a Sly Cooper animated series coming now. They canceled the movie after how Ratchet and Clank bombed. And
Well,
they're
to
going
be
to
fair,
do,
I still really don't like the artistic style they're going for that Sly Cooper thing, whatever it is. Like I'm
I
willing
didn't
to
like
give it
either,
a
and
chance.
I'm hoping
But-
it changes with it comes to TV with cheaper animation, but it's also the same animation company that does Sonic Boom. So are they doing both cartoons, or is Sonic Boom going bye-bye for Sly Cooper?
Well, it's not exactly unusual for an animation studio to alternate between different projects or have more than one project going at a time.
Well, remind me, they're currently, weren't they owned by Technicolor?
I have no idea.
I have
I-
no idea.
I know their owning company actually was purchased recently. I apologize. I have to do a bit more research on that, but it makes me wonder, like, what their resources actually would be. Because it wouldn't be a bad idea if they continued it with smaller size seasons. That way, they could potentially work on both at the same time if they were interested in doing so.
It's also not unusual for these French shows to like go on hiatus for a little while while the studio works on something else. I mean, like Totally Spies. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but that started in 2001 and it got its final season in 2013 after like going on break for several years.
I just
I can't say I've heard of it.
It's some French show. I saw a YouTube video about it.
I think I still hold the concern that at some level Sega may still want to kind of kill Sonic Boom. Like I can't say that for certain. You guys would know more than I would. But
we wouldn't.
It was completely ignored at E3 as far as any Sonic related stuff. Sonic Boom was
they didn't have anything to show, so
Yeah,
Right.
they more the non-gaming stuff.
But I mean, there's nothing else but the show as far as any terms of any promotion for Sonic Boom anymore. Even Toys R Us kind of moved where the Sonic Boom toys are, and they're hard to find now. That's kind of shrunken down.
yeah,
So,
it's just
I don't know.
you get the sense
If
that
it gets a third season, great. If it doesn't, it's been a nice run with 104 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sincerely hope that they do find some way to actually release it for home watching, if for no other reason than because it was on Boomerang, that makes it a lot harder to watch it in HD.
Yeah.
It's
Basically,
Boomerang really isn't in HD because why would you put any of their library on HD?
Right.
It just
And that's a problem because if you can't watch, I mean, this is a show designed. I even brought that up. It's a show designed to be in HD, and here you are on Boomerang where it's an SD.
I own it in HD. I have the entire first season in HD, which I had to buy
I
by
don't own it,
importing
but I can
iTunes
watch.
cards from Britain.
Oh my!
I don't own it, but I can watch
Forgot
the
about
first
that.
season. I can watch the first season on HD on Hulu, and I'm probably season 2 will come to Hulu. In fact, I think they did announce that Hulu, that Sonic Boom season 2 will be on Hulu next once this season wraps up.
That's
But,
basically what I'm waiting for at this point because I've missed way too much of this show.
Yeah, the problem is, and then UK's missed all of it up to this point because it hasn't shown on the UK yet. So a lot of people are just watching it on YouTube.
That's
And then-
actually
and-
kind of.
and-
That
have you
seems like the
noticed that
weirdest thing because they actually don't need to redub it for them. Like,
have you noticed that? Yeah, I know why it's taking so long. Oh, sorry, Mia. Sorry, I'm messing with the microphone.
Yeah.
Anyway, have you noticed that Bill and Mike and the others aren't really, it's talking about, hey, don't go watching this on YouTube now. Watch it only officially on, Cartoon Network or Boomerang. They're not really bringing that up anymore because not even Cartoon Network's website, I don't think, shows any of the new episodes anymore because it's on Boomerang.
well, I mean, I looked it up last time and we saw that they were, but I don't know if they still are. But
Okay.
Well, if
But I mean, but that's for the U.S. If you go to another site like Cartoon Network Canada or Cartoon Network UK, you can't watch the show officially in any way if you're in the UK other than YouTube. That's the only way you can watch it.
crazy. Yeah. Well, if Sonic Boom does indeed go the way of Sonic and if the Archie comic really does die, there is one thing outside of the video games that we have to look forward to.
Sega Forever.
The movie.
Yeah.
Which comes out, and now it's got official date of 2019.
Oh, man, I'm so glad they've delayed our suffering a whole year. I'm so happy.
Right.
This is going to be so embarrassing when it comes out.
I want to believe. I want to believe because we have half an idea that there may be, I don't know, some people who could theoretically be fans involved with it, but
it's being directed by the Smurfs director.
I mean,
I thought it was being directed by the Deadpool director now.
Oh, wow! I hope so. I'm looking this up.
It's changed. I don't know. Things have been vague on it. It seems like a real cluster. I would feel at least 80% better if they could show me like a screenshot of it and the style looked fine.
Me too. I just want to. I'd be happier if I just heard, you know what, they would cancel the project. We're not going to do Sonic.
Like if it was CGI,
I want to see a movie. I want to see a Sonic movie. I feel like it has potential. As a series, it's just there are so many factors here that make me real concerned.
Like the live action bits.
Like the live action bits.
Well, Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool, is an executive producer. So he's not the director.
I don't. What does executive producer mean?
It can mean he has lots of control, or it can mean he just gives them money or controls finances. Like it varies by movie, but that doesn't really increase my faith in it at all.
You know what? I'm gonna live my life by the rule of Miyamoto.
Yeah.
If it came out this year and we knew it was coming this year or next year or whatever. Delaying it a little bit might help it.
So, okay, I've got some good news. The director is now not the Smurfs guy. It is someone from Timothy Miller's Blur Studio who's never directed a movie before called Jeff Fowler. Oh, wait, he did animation research and development on Where the Wild Things Are, so that's nothing. But yeah, so this is an unproven director, which is, as far as I'm concerned, an upgrade over the Smurfs guy.
I'll give you that. That's something. That's more than absolutely bare minimum nothing.
And he does have some short films to his name.
I will say this, at the very least, I don't know how much input that director had on that movie. Specifically in the realm of, he certainly wasn't the writer. He probably didn't dictate a lot of the style. Maybe the directing was fine with it, and everything else, I don't know.
Look, it really depends on the director, because like when you look at someone like Zack Snyder can be really good if he has the source material. But if the writer is terrible, then Zack Snyder's movie will be terrible. And to that I will say Watchmen versus Batman versus Superman. Like, Watchmen, I think, is a pretty solid movie. Great source material. Great directing. And then you go to Batman v Superman. Decent directing. Terrible writing. So it's like... But then when you have Michael Bay basically takes over his production. And every single Michael Bay movie is a Michael Bay movie, regardless of who is writing it.
I heard what you said,
Yeah.
but all that I got out of it was Watchmen versus Batman versus Superman.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Did I speak too quickly or something?
No, that's all I really need to hear, because that's the movie I want to see now.
Well, it doesn't exist, but you could just watch Watchmen and Batman v Superman back to back. So, I guess that'd be something.
That doesn't sound like the movie I want to see.
But yeah. So like, it depends on the director. So hopefully, this Sonic movie has a good team behind it. I mean, Blur Studio, like they did do some stuff on Deadpool. So crossing my fingers. But I guess we'll see. I do have a little more hope for it now than I did a few minutes ago, though. That's something.
Let's at least put it this way. With it being delayed instead of being pushed forward to make a specific date, it shows that maybe Sony does care about it enough to do that. Like, I know I'm stretching it here try to find some positive. But if there was a positive to be found, it probably would be that Sony does care about it enough to be willing to delay it.
And another thing we can say is that Sony was somehow able to take an awful movie idea and turn it into what looks to be merely a mediocre movie idea with the Emoji Movie. Like, I'm sure it won't be a good movie, but I was expecting a hot dumpster fire. It looks like it may just be a terrible Lego ripoff.
I am. My fists right now are just so tensed up.
The Emoji Movie exists, Chris. Get over it.
I would prefer
Patrick
to imagine
Stewart
otherwise.
plays the poop.
And want me to piss you off more? The
No.
Emoji Movie is the reason why Genndy Tartakovsky's Popeye movie got canceled. And
Oh my god.
And now the Popeye movie itself is still being made, but no longer by Genndy Tartakovsky. So it was pushed back.
I need my staple gun. I needed this. I don't know why.
Evil.
I don't know why the hardware store was willing to sell me this, but I'm so glad they did. They probably shouldn't have.
I think they saw the stress in your eyes and just knew that, okay.
And that's. I mean, I should be on a list to say no.
Oh, and
but
by
I'm
the way,
so glad that I'm not.
one more quick thing. Beat, it does have a first four-figure thing.
Shut up.
It glows, and it's
Shut up.
$230.
Shut up.
Okay, now
Let me put it another way. I could probably resist that. I might not be able to resist it if Good Smile made a Figma. And I swear to God, if you tell me there's a Figma.
I don't follow Figmas, so I wouldn't know. I just know that there's an Ulala one.
Oh, that Ulala one looks so good.
One last bit of Sonic news that I didn't put on the notes is that if you're a kid and you're a fan of Sonic X and still want to see it and it's off the air,
I am true about two of those.
It's coming back on the air.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Through
I heard
a program called Kids Click. So, and it's a programming slot that's going to be on This TV, which is one of your digital antenna shows that just plays over the air. I mean, if on here I got channel 5.1, which is KTLA, and then channel 5.2 is this TV. So it's going to play about 6 in the morning. So if you're a kid, that's actually a pretty good time for kids, because if you're a kid getting up, you got to get your breakfast, your bowl of cereal, you can sit down and watch Sonic X before, you take your bath and get ready for school and everything.
Now, unfortunately, it is the worst Sonic show, but
no, I'm sorry.
Yes, it's worse than Sonic Underground.
Nothing's worse than Sonic Underground.
Yeah,
Sonic X had its moments. I thought Sonic X was okay. I think
Sonic X you could at least look at.
That's true.
Sonic Underground, you can't look at whatever the hell that was.
Hey, Sleet and Dingo are beautiful. They are beautiful, gorgeous creatures.
Someone took the 1980s, compressed it into a ball, and shoved it through the slot of the late 90s.
They're the best designed characters ever.
I've seen better original Ninja Turtle designs from the 80s show. And I'm talking like side characters, not like your Bebops and Rocksteadies.
But anyway, Sonic X does have its moments, but by and large, I do consider it to be a pretty mediocre show. It ain't no Sonic Boom, or Sonic Saddam, or even Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. And yes, I do think it's worse than Sonic Underground, but
I mean, ultimately, if you really want to watch that series, your best bet is Discotek release the entire series on DVD again. Like, those DVDs are out there now again. I'm also going to...
Does it have the Japanese uncensored versions?
I don't believe so, no.
That's not your best way to watch it, though. Your best way to watch it is on Hulu, because on Hulu you can watch it in Japanese subtitled with the 5 minutes of footage that was originally put back in.
And for once, I have to agree with the Weeaboo opinion. It is better in Japanese.
Well, yeah, but sure. When you say
want to disagree, but you can.
But more to the point, I also wanted to use that as a segue to bring up something that my good friend Saber reminded me of. Actually linked me to show me that it's coming. There is an official Blu-ray release that will be coming shortly of World War Blue.
War Blue.
If you do not remember it, I think it might not be World War Blue. It's something like that. But if you don't remember it, it's the medieval interpretation of the console wars, where everyone is kind of medieval fighters of Sega fighting, which apparently got a dub.
Oh my God!
It got a dub.
This got a dub? Oh,
got
a dub. Oh, I need to get this.
Is this the one where Human Tails dies and Human Sonic wants revenge or whatever?
Yes. I don't know. Like, Mario and Luigi are members of the Nintendo Army. I don't... Who knows?
I can't believe
I saw an episode where
these are all. I remember this is all like human.
Petra Sky was a pervert and telling you how things fit in spaces. I don't.
And the guy who's doing like Human Sonic was the main hero, and Nintendo and Mario and Luigi were like some of the main villains or something.
I don't.
Yeah,
they weren't exactly. They weren't exactly. Look like Mario, Luigi, or Sonic. Of course, they were like human avatar representations with slightly different names.
I don't know.
Chris, have you seen the dub, and is it better than Sonic?
No, but I remember hearing about that anime like years ago.
No, Chris, have you seen the dub, and if so, is it better than Sonic X?
I have no freaking idea. I am scared. I think it's only like 3 episodes long anyway, but I mean,
I am buying this thing.
I have a nagging suspicion I will buy it too, just because. Because I make poor life decisions. Is that what I have to say?
This is a wonderful life decision, GX. This is the best life decision. You cannot get a better life decision than buying this thing.
I mean, I'm gonna buy this, and then I'm gonna make another stupid mistake, like buying the Blu-ray for Seiha Girls. I don't freaking.
Oh,
This is a bad road, but I feel it's important that people know how bad things are going to get around here. It's going to be the next Sonic Talk is going to be like absolutely no energy whatsoever. Did you watch Blue? Did you watch World War Blue? Yeah,
yes, and it was wonderful.
I watched it. Are you going to be okay? No. No, I don't.
feel wonderful.
I'm not going to be. Nothing's okay anymore. Nothing is. Maybe they should cancel Sonic Forever. Maybe Archie is a bad idea and was always a bad idea.
They have, like, I think all 10 volumes of the World War Blue manga on Amazon. I'm seeing up to 6 right now. They're all on there.
You know
get
what?
'em.
Shut the franchise down. I was always in favor. I was always against people who were saying, yeah, maybe Sonic as a franchise needs to die, but you know what? I can see the argument now.
I'm going to have to buy the manga for this. Oh, man. I want this so much now. This sounds like it's something done by some deranged Sega fanboy, and I want it.
Okay, I think it's about time we wrap this up because
Yeah,
it's going
yeah.
on to about 2.5 hours now, and it's like a sauna in my room. I need to open the door so I can get the air conditioning from the living room in here.
Yeah.
I still need to feed my dog.
Yeah. You're very busy, so we'll wrap this up. I mean, I don't have anything else to say. GX?
I'm just going to... If I have anything to plug, it's just going to be the deepest depths of ennui. So,
Aw.
yeah, there we go.
What's so bad about depths being on the Wii?
No,
What's so good
ennui,
about
the
that?
French term.
I know.
Oh.
I know what ennui is. I'm screwing with you.
You're
Although
doing
I
a very
kinda
bad
failed.
job.
I was supposed to say what's so great about depths on the Wii, but then I fucked it up because I've kind of been tired since we started this thing.
But I guess if you want to hear my voice more, I'm going to be on probably the next upcoming Nintendo World Report Patreon Game Club
Yay!
for Super Mario RPG. So
Cute.
listen for me there.
Anyway,
And,
and if you want to see me and more of me and Alex's take on Sonic Forces or Sonic Mania
We have,
or
like,
other
5
stuff,
articles on
it's
Sonic
all
Stadium.
it's all over Sonic Stadium. We've done a ton of articles for E3 last week, and you can check them out right here. And is there anything else you wanted to add, Alex?
If you want a more in-depth look at all this stuff, I've got a whole rundown of the Switch version, complete of Sonic Forces, complete with screenshots. I go into ridiculous amount of detail regarding the Avatar character, which I think we didn't go into quite as much detail on here. So, if you want to know a little more about those things, head over to Sonic Stadium, read our
And
stuff.
if you really want to know a lot more about it, just go to DeviantArt. Cut out the middleman.
And if you want to see what Jason and I look like and want to see us talk about it with Sven Jocelyn from Sonic Stadium, we got 2 videos from E3 on Sonic Stadium right now.
I love those. It looks all professional and everything.
Yeah. My camera is very nice, and Sven is very good at directing things. He's definitely a professional at this stuff.
Okay,
Anyway.
and that's going to do it for us. Thank you all for listening.
Yep.
Thanks, Alex and GX, for being on the show. And we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
When life gets you down,
Bye.
just buy a staple gun.
Or Gizmondo.
Why on earth would anyone want to get to Gizmondo?
Why wouldn't you want one?
Because you buy the staple gun and the Gizmondo, and then you let nature take its course.
Exactly. All right. So long, guys.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
if
still
there's
basically
some-
recording, but whatever.
If there's some Sonic Forces Switch footage you want, I put some links in there.
I'm good for now.
There's one really good one from Nintendo World Report. It's funny. We always say, "Oh, it's a lesser one" and everything. Then you look at the footage and this still looks really good.
Yeah.
It still looks really good on Switch. It's just
It just
30 frames a second. And
I mean-
you can tell a little
And
bit.
lower res textures.
My issue with anything that it looks like is just based on what they've shown, or based on at least what I've seen, it just kind of looks tone deaf. Like, I don't get the sense of what
Sonic
it's going
Forces it's playing it safe this year. It's playing it real safe, and just doing what they've been doing for a while. It's basically Generations 2.
But I mean,
it's not an experimental Sonic like Lost World.
Aesthetically, though, I think it just isn't doing it for me from what I've seen. Like, I need to see more of what it wants to do. I mean, I'm buying it either way, so it doesn't matter. But I would like.
I think part of the problem with us watching it in docked mode at E3 was we were watching it on like a 50-inch screen, like 2 feet from 2 feet in front of us. So that kind of affects how it looks. You know, that's why portable looks so much better. Anyway, oh god, it's so hot in here. I gotta get going.
All right, get out of here.
Set up the fan speed a little bit now that